Hi, I'm Tim from Turner's Warehouse. Today we are going to continue our lathe anatomy discussion. Today we are covering the banjo. Not that kind of banjo. Here we are. This is the banjo, and this travels along what's called the bed or the ways of the lathe, as everything on the lathe does. This one has a cam locking mechanism for locking it down in place. What a cam does is basically an off-center spindle, and as you, if you can see this here, as you crank down the handle to lock it in place, this off-center spindle here locks that in place, so it won't move on you. As you can see, the lathe or the banjo will not move. Sometimes when people have banjo issues, the main issue they have is this may not lock down and may actually spring loose like this. When that happens, actually just loosen the nut that's on the bottom of the bolt that's down here, and that will allow that to travel further down so you can lock that down. If for whatever reason when you push that down to lock that and it does go all the way through, the nut on the bottom needs to actually be tightened. Now, the biggest point on locking or messing with that nut on the bottom is it's very minimal as far as your directions, either tightening or loosening. You're not going to unscrew it all the way, or you're not going to tighten it all the way. It's going to be maybe a slight turn either direction to accomplish what you want. Very minimal changes will make a big impact on this part of the lathe here. One of the things to consider with your banjo is it will affect your swing over the banjo. So for instance, this lathe has a 14-inch swing. By putting this underneath your workpiece, you will effectively reduce your swing to 10 inches because of the size of this casting here. This is indicative of every lathe, and every size of banjo is slightly different per lathe. The other thing to consider when you're looking at your banjo is your tool rest and tool rest post. A lot of the newer ones are going to a 1-inch post. Some of the older ones, like one of my older lathes, has a 5/8 inch post. That is a key point in knowing what tool accessories you're going to want to use for your lathe. The other part of that is your post length. You want to be able to move your tool rest post up and down without running into your bed. If you have any other questions, feel free to contact us or comment below. We will address your questions as they present themselves. Thanks for joining us.